Breaking news and news
The report
headlines.
that the military has released on the helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Chief of Defence Forces General Francis Ogolla and 9 other military personnel. NTV's senior reporter Duncan Haemba poses this question as he takes us through this summary that has been made public, indicating that the Bell Hugh helicopter that crashed in April 2024 was caused by engine malfunction.
Crashing scenes. The smoke rising from a mangle, painting in the path to the skies. A heavy picture of a dark day in the Republic. 18th of April 2024 at Sindar Village, Kaben location, Tot Division in Elgeyo Marakwet County. The Bell Hiwi helicopter KAF 1501 crashed to a fatal end for 12 military officers, among them Chief of Defence Forces, General Francis Omondi Ogolla. Nearly a year later, the Ministry of Defence has released a 6-page summary of the report investigating the cause of and circumstances around the crash. The report carries with it the flight of the ill-fated helicopter from when it departed Moi Air Base to Wilson Airport, then lifted up to North Rift where it eventually crashed as it embarked on what was to be its second last trip to Recruits Training School, Eldoret. With regard to the mission planning and execution for the day, the report says the pilot, Major John Benson Magondu, received the task to convey the CDF to North Rift at 15:28 hours on 17th April 2024. It adds that the crew had sufficient time to prepare and plan for the mission. The following morning, Hiwi KAF 1501 had been prepared and certified as airworthy after successful completion of before-flight checks by the first-line personnel. The crew then signed the necessary paperwork, performed the requisite checks, and departed Moi Air Base for Nairobi Wilson Airport at 07:11 hours. The helicopter then departed Nairobi Wilson Airport at 09:15 hours with the 12 souls on board, which was within the carrying capacity of 13 with personal luggage. At the time of the crash, the helicopter had the same number of passengers that were on board from Nairobi's Wilson Airport. It had also consumed some fuel since the last refueling in Kainuk. Weight was therefore a less likely contributing factor, the report indicates. According to this flight path released, after lifting up from Wilson Airport, the chopper made a stopover at Chesit to refuel, then flew to Kainuk and was again refueled and departed for Cheptulel Boys High School in Chesogon, landing at 13:36 hours. After inspecting construction works at the school, General Ogolla and team took off for Defence Forces Recruits Training School in Eldoret at 14:22 hours. But around 14:20 hours, shortly after departure from Cheptulel Boys High School, the military aircraft crashed on a parcel of community land, killing 8 people on the spot, among them their military chief. 4 survivors of the crash were airlifted by Hughes MD-500 helicopters to Endo Health Center, whereby 2 succumbed to their injuries and the remaining 2 were airlifted to Eldoret Regional Hospital. They survived. In 2024, before his burial, multiple sources disclosed that whereas the other victims were burnt, the late General Ogolla never got burnt, but had a deep cut at the back of his head, implying that either he jumped out of the helicopter to save his life, having been an experienced jet fighter pilot, hence crashed his head on a hard surface, or upon sensing danger, his soldiers might have acted swiftly to throw him out of the chopper in a bid to save him from getting burnt once the helicopter explodes in flames upon impact on the ground. Concerning the weather of the day, the military says Hiwi KAF 1501 was flying from Cheptulel Boys High School, Chesogon, to Defense Forces Recruits Training School, Eldoret. The crew executed the takeoff successfully under visual flight rules. The weather in the general area of the crash site was reported as scattered clouds, easterly winds, with temperature of 25 degrees centigrade. This weather is deemed favorable for air operations. The survey indicates that the weather was therefore a less likely contributing factor. When it comes to communication, KDF says Hiwi KAF 1501 departed Nairobi Wilson Airport for Chepsitet. The aircraft then flew to Chesagon via Kainuk. The crew were in constant two-way communication with other relevant stations. Communication was less likely to be a contributing factor. However, the military does not give further details, such as whether any recording was retrieved that perhaps revealed the last-minute communication, either between the pilot and his co-pilot or between them and the control towers. Regarding the engine, the report reveals the helicopter suffered engine compressor stall, which is consistent with witness report of a loud bang at the engine compartment and the measured gas temperature gauge, which when powered displayed an overexceedance of 914 degrees centigrade. The plane then experienced a complete power loss, which was followed by a left yaw, drop in engine, low RPM audio alarm, and change in engine noise. The pilots of KAF 1501 attempted to control the helicopter to a clear landing zone, but lost positive control of the aircraft. The report says the helicopter suffered Category 5 damage, that is, beyond economic repair as shown in these pictorials. The cause of the accident, the government says, based on facts and evidence gathered and indicated in the findings, the Board of Inquiry is of the opinion that Bell Hiwi helicopter crashed due to engine malfunction, and that consequently, in accordance with the recommendations of the Board of Inquiry, the Kenya Air Force has updated and reviewed its standard operating procedures to avert further occurrence. The late General Ogolla visited troops under the Operation Maliza Uhalifu in the North Rift counties of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet and West Pokot, a visit that turned tragic, ending his life and that of 9 others. General Ogolla goes in the annals of history as Kenya's first CDF to die in office, a general who died with his soldiers. Duncan Haemba, NTV.